Hey friends, this is a rant video. If you are sensitive to angry voices or slight yelling, maybe give this video a skip. I'm a little bit heated in this video and I don't want to cause any extra stress or anxiety to people who may be sensitive to these kinds of things. I have lots of other soft, sweet videos already that you can enjoy instead. I know some of you really like when I do a hot take, so this one's for you. Today's topic is something that I've thought about a lot over the years as a Lolita. It's something that I mostly would just complain to my friends about, fellow Lolitas, people outside of the Lolita community, and it wasn't until I realized how often I complained about this and how often my friends in the Lolita community also complained about this that I realized maybe I should talk about it. And that is the idea that Lolita dresses are not public property. I know what you might be thinking. Yeah, everyone knows that normies feel this way. People outside of the community behave this way. But it's not just them. It's also Lolitas that are new to the community. Newbie Lolitas. And you know who else acts this way? Seasoned veteran Lolitas. Even I have been guilty of treating Lolita dresses like public property. I kind of jumped into this without explaining what I'm about to explain. So let me explain. Basically, each category I've just mentioned treats Lolita like public property in a different way. And now I'm going to explain each of those ways. Make sense? You follow? I hope so. The most obvious offenders are people outside of the Lolita community, because people will see Lolita fashion as something that's different to them, and automatically because it's different to them, it's something that they don't understand, they kind of dehumanize it and they'll touch your dress, they'll lift up your skirt. How is it poofy? It's a petticoat, it's not rocket science. And this also goes for not just Lolitas, but really anyone who's different. This happens to people with tattoos. People who don't have tattoos will touch them and ask them questions and think that because it's different from what they know, that they have the right to do that. Which they don't. Clothes are not public property. Your skin is not public property. You need to ask people before you touch them. Consent is important. Just because someone has pink hair and it's different to you doesn't mean that you can touch it. It's not there for you. And I think the best way to combat this is to make the person realize how ridiculous they're being. You know, I've never been into a Hollister, so Hollister shirts are really weird to me and I don't understand. But you know what, Chad? I'm not gonna touch your shirt because, well, frankly, I don't want to. But also, I respect you, Chad, and your right to wear boring clothes. So please respect my right to dress however the fuck I want and don't touch me. Most Lolitas, or people who watch my videos or know alternative fashion, are already aware of this. Let's get into newbie territory. This may seem ridiculous to you as it does to me, but it happens a lot more than you would think. I understand people treating me this way because I am a YouTuber, I am a public figure, but I've heard also from a lot of my Lolita friends who are not public figures but happen to have a large wardrobe. Newbies will enter the Lolita community and ask, do you have any like extra leftover Lolita that you can just give me? Or do you have anything that you can sell to me for like really, really cheap? The reason that people are asking for this is because a lot of the times they're overwhelmed by the price and they see that these dresses are limited release and they're hard to get. If you don't understand the price of Lolita, I suggest you watch this video. It explains it in great detail. And I think that a lot of people who are new, they see people who have collected Lolita over many years and think that, you know, they just are overwhelmed with how much they see and think that that person doesn't need it. Or they feel like that person immediately got all of that, and they compare themselves thinking they should have that much even though they just started. I think that part of it too is that in our society, in the modern day, most things you can just get. We've become so accustomed to ordering things online and even sometimes getting it the same day. As a society, we have this idea that everything should just be easily accessible, and you should be able to get it right away at the cheapest cost. But it's important to remember that Lolita is not something that you just quickly go get. Lolita is a collecting hobby. It's something that takes many, many years. If you're in a place right now where you feel like Lolita is unobtainable, it's too expensive, it's too hard to get, believe it or not, I was in the same position in 2006, long before Taobao resellers, before Angelic Pretty had a store in San Francisco, before Baby Star Shine Bright had a store in San Francisco, before there was international websites. So I really, really thought that it was unachievable. I couldn't do it. And I spent 4 years thinking I couldn't do it and trying to research it. And then I've now spent 10 years collecting the collection that I have now. And you might look at other Lolitas like Tyler, who have a much larger wardrobe than me, and just because you're seeing them now, you don't realize where they came from or all of the work that they put into it because you're just seeing this now. And even with Tyler, there's certain dresses that she still hasn't gotten and that she still wants. Tyler's Frock Talk series is a great example of this because she tells the story behind each of these dresses. And it really shows how much dedication she's had to put into this fashion to be where she is now. I really like this series, and I hope that she does more of them. From that perspective, as a newbie, if you think that Lolita is so hard to get and it's really, you're not able to do it, why do you think that someone would just give you Lolita? I don't understand it. I think it's just people can't wrap their head around not being able to get something right away. These pieces that I have collected over many years, I'm not gonna just give away, and I'm not gonna sell super cheap, and neither is any Lolita. Selling Lolita secondhand should be slightly cheaper because it is used. A lot of people don't understand this. They'll sell their dress and be like, well, I paid this much for it, so I'm gonna get this much back, but you know, doesn't work like that. It does decrease in value, but some people will still sell things at full price. There are other certain dresses, of course, that will maintain value because they're more rare, or maybe they may go up in price. For me personally, and probably a lot of other Lolitas, anytime I sell a dress, it's because I want to get another dress. So I'm not gonna sell a $300 dress for $40. I might sell a $300 dress for $200, for $250, depending on what it's like in the market. I'm gonna look at past sales and see what they sold for and compare the prices. And people sell Lolita for different reasons, obviously. Sometimes people really want to sell their stuff fast. Maybe someone's leaving Lolita and they just want to get rid of their wardrobe. Maybe someone's in a really tight financial spot and they just really need money, so they're gonna sell their dresses cheaply. But don't ask people to sell their dresses cheaply. That's so insulting when you think about how much work these people have put in to save up and find these dresses, to ask for, can you just sell it to me cheap? And people asking this when things aren't even for sale, which leads me to my next point. Seasoned and veteran Lolitas. If you're a Lolita and you've been in the community for a while, how many times have you heard the phrase, if you ever decide to sell this, I'll buy it? I'll admit, I've done this before, and I realize now how annoying it is and how rude it is, because there's two things that are gonna happen from this. Either A, the person's gonna be like, I don't have any intention of selling this. I'm not ever gonna sell it. Leave me alone. Or B, you're gonna create doubt. They may start to doubt themselves and say, do I really want this dress? Could I use the money more? When they might have never come to that conclusion on their own, but you've planted the seed. It's become this weird accepted thing in the Lolita community that just because someone has a Lolita dress, they may sell it eventually, so it's not actually theirs. As soon as you buy something, it's now yours. And whether you decide to sell it or not is up to you, but until that listing is on Lace Market, it's on Depop, it's on eBay, then it's still yours. And it's not for sale. This means that when someone posts their coordinate photo on Instagram, that's not a listing for sale. That's not a dress that could be yours. It's theirs. They own it. They're wearing it. And unless in the description it says somewhere, thinking about selling this dress, then it's not for sale. So don't leave a comment saying, if you ever decide to sell this, I'd buy it. I understand that people get really emotionally tied to these dresses, and sometimes things just get blurry because you get this tunnel vision of really, really wanting that dress. And believe me, I understand this just as much as anybody in the Lolita community. There are so many dresses that I cried over, that I lost my mind for, that I said these kind of things to people about because I was just so desperate for them. But above all, you've got to respect your fellow Lolita and their work and dedication to getting their own pieces. By commenting on someone's coordinate photo saying that you want to buy their dress, it's saying that you care about that dress more than you care about them, and that's not very respectful. The easiest way to combat this is just to not use that phrasing. Don't say, I want to buy your dress. Say, I really, really want this dress too. I'd love to twin with you in it. And if you ever see it for sale anywhere, please let me know. And then if the person on their own decides that they want to sell it, they'll remember that you really want it. But you didn't try to take theirs away from them. If you are madly on the hunt for a dress, what you really need to find is somebody who just loves to browse Lolita markets. Those people that are just constantly keeping tabs on Wonderwelt, Closet Child, Lace Market. There are people out there who just for fun, they might not necessarily be shopping, but they just like to look at it, and let them know that you're looking for that dress. You have to think about what it feels like on the receiving end, the person who's just happy to share their coordinate, who's worked really hard to get this dress, who loves it, who feels beautiful, for then someone to just say to them, hey, if you ever want to sell that, I'll buy it. Think about that. Think how you would feel. I definitely did this, especially with Eternal Rose Bouquet and older prints that I was after, and the reason I did is because I saw it as such a normal thing in the community, and I'm realizing now that it shouldn't be. I deeply apologize to anyone who I have ever commented this on or said this to, because I realize now how stupid it is, and that we really need to respect ownership of each other's pieces. This leads me into my next topic, which has to do with this, but might be the most controversial of all. There's so much stigma around alterations in the Lolita community, and it's just wild, to the point where people feel immense shame in talking about altering their brand, and it shouldn't be that way. And again, this leads back to people feel that you shouldn't alter brand because you might sell it later on, and then it's been altered and it's, ruined from its original form. When someone buys a Lolita dress, it becomes theirs, and they can do whatever the f they want to it. Lolita dresses are not public property. People often think that altering brand is now ruined, but the truth is that they're still thinking about it as if that brand will be theirs. And that brand that's been altered belongs to the person who altered it. They're gonna wear it, it's gonna work better for them. It has really nothing to do with you, and if that person then decides to sell it later on, all they need to do is list off the alterations that have been done to it and lower the price because it's been changed. It's more than likely that there's somebody else out there who needs those alterations as well, and if you're somebody who doesn't need those alterations, then there's already so many more options for you. People should be able to talk about the alterations that they've made to their dresses because it could help other people. This isn't the biggest, most rampant problem in Lolita fashion, but it is something that's become sort of a norm, and I think is relatively easy to just change and fix and move forward. Let's all try to be a little bit more respectful of one another's possessions. Lolita fashion is not a competition. We can all grow together and work together. We don't have to take from one another. Be respectful of other people's possessions and what they choose to do with them. Stay lovely! I haven't said anything about this topic online yet, but while editing this video, I've received multiple messages asking to buy my honey cake dress. Now, I feel like after this video, people probably won't ask me this anymore, but I just want to make a statement because Ever since I first got my honey cake dress, people have been asking to buy it from me. I'm never going to sell my honey cake dress. It's not for sale. Please stop asking. If you see me selling it, I've probably been hacked or I'm in serious trouble and I'm probably selling all of my Lolita. Hopefully it will never come to that because it's my favorite print. And it took me many years and a lot of saving in order to get it.